This Extreme Rules match has been full of action so far.
This kind of match is perfectly made for Hardy and Punk. Anything goes. What better way to settle your differences?
Tommy Dreamer's been in a lot of extreme matches over the past few years. You have to wonder how much of a physical toll it has taken on his body.
Yeah, these matches are just brutal on your body. Quite frankly, I don't know why we even have them anymore.
Wow. And this is coming from a hardcore icon.
Times change, Joey. I just want these guys to be able to walk after this match.
This is Punk's big chance. This could be his night. The ECW title is within his grasp if he can just get through Tommy Dreamer. Thanks to you, Taz, this is just the first round of a tournament to crown a new ECW champion after Punk was cruelly stripped of the title earlier tonight.
Hey, look, you can't go crippling your opponents to win a match. We all have families to feed. Punk's got to learn when enough is enough. I'm really worried about Dreamer, Joey. He's a close personal friend of mine, and he just got mauled by Punk at the Rumble.
We all wish Dreamer the best, Taz, but he's a proud competitor. You know he wouldn't have had it any other way.
Got a punctured lung, man. You think that's what Tommy wanted?
Tommy's a damn hardcore legend and has ECW pumping through his veins. So yes, that's exactly what Tommy wanted.
I'll tell you what, Burke's the right man to lead ECW. Elijah Burke has got the skill set to become ECW's guiding light as champ.
Aren't you forgetting something, Taz? We already have a champion. CM Punk never lost that title.
Punk's not worthy of being ECW champion. Fact of the matter is this, it should have been him, Punk, that had the punctured lung, not Dreamer.
After throwing away a shot at the title last week, Punk's continuing to prove how hardcore he is. What an extreme brawl this has been. Punk's out to prove he has what it takes to become the ECW champion.
It takes honor, it takes loyalty, and it takes respect. And those are three things that CM Punk knows nothing about.
CM Punk must be questioning his decisions. He could have been wrestling for the ECW title had he not been disqualified. But instead, thanks in no small part to Taz, he's up against the 500-pound mastodon, Big Daddy V.
And maybe this will teach him to think before he acts.
Later on tonight, Elijah Burke will take on Jeff Hardy for the vacated ECW title, a match that CM Punk is banned from or he'll be indefinitely suspended.
And both men, Burke in particular, are deserving of the title.
Big Daddy V is one of the most vicious competitors in ECW. 500 pounds of pure crushing force with an extreme personality as well. And we've got an impromptu last man standing underway as CM Punk challenges the new ECW champion Elijah Burke.
Yeah, Punk's got some nerve, I'm telling you that right now. I hope Burke knocks him right out.
Punk picked up a huge win at No Way Out over Big Daddy V, but arguably, Elijah Burke had the biggest win of the night, beating Jeff Hardy to become ECW champion.
Burke is the better man, Styles. He's 10 times the man CM Punk is, and a champion we can be very proud of. This isn't how you win the ECW title, Styles. Punk can't even play by the rules, yet alone beat Burke fairly.
Punk's certainly taking the fight to an unsuspecting Burke here tonight, just 2 days after his grueling matchup at No Way Out.
This is a crock. Burke just had the match of his life 2 days ago, and now he's got to fight in a last man standing match.
And here's the main event of the evening, a triple threat match, as CM Punk takes on Big Daddy V and John Morrison, with the winner becoming the #1 contender for the ECW title. And hopefully we'll have no interference. Going into this match, you've got to think that Punk will be the favorite, holding wins over both Big Daddy V and John Morrison in recent weeks.
He's beaten him once, Joey, but now he's facing him at the same time.
He's gone toe-to-toe with CM Punk several times recently, but John Morrison hasn't quite managed to come out on top. Do you think he may be jealous of Punk?
Morrison's jealous of Punk? Come on, stop. You gotta be kidding me. The Tuesday Night Delight's better than Punk in every possible way, nits. CM Punk is nothing but a vicious thug. I don't think he fights to win. He fights to deliberately inflict as much damage as possible.
Taz, that's a lie, and you know it. Punk loves competition, and that's the one and only reason he's here. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't get bigger than this. CM Punk versus Elijah Burke for the ECW title. This is the match Punk has fought so hard for, defeating Big Daddy V and John Morrison in the triple threat last week. Punk defeated Tommy Dreamer at the Royal Rumble, winning both the ECW title and the former champion's respect. The fact is, this is a match for a title that CM Punk never lost.
CM Punk was stripped of his title because he deserved to lose it. He took things too far.
Elijah Burke won the ECW title just 3 weeks ago, but can he pick up the win here tonight and go on to WrestleMania as the ECW champion?
Look, from where I sit, banning the Extreme Rules match was the right thing to do. Unless you stepped in that ring, you really can't understand the damage these matches put on your body. If you want to get uppity about it, Styles, fine. But if anyone gets hurt, it's not on my conscience.
It's been an incredible matchup here tonight. But can Punk pull off the victory? Can Punk go to WrestleMania as the ECW champion? Here we go with this non-title matchup as the champion CM Punk takes on his old rival John Morrison. As it stands, we still don't know who the champion might face at WrestleMania, but you have to think a win here tonight would put Morrison at the top of the list.
If I was CM Punk right now, I'll tell you what, I'd be watching my back. What do you think is going through Tommy's mind standing out there right now? I mean, Punk punctured his lung and took his WrestleMania shot.
Punk and Dreamer are friends, but you might be right. Like it or not, this is WrestleMania we're talking about. With just 5 days from WrestleMania, we still don't know who our champion will be facing. How do you prepare yourself for a match when you don't know who your opponent is, Taz?
Mark my words, Punk's got no chance tonight or at WrestleMania.
This is the first time Dreamer's been near an ECW ring since Punk took his title and punctured his lung. You have to wonder, why has Dreamer come out here tonight? Whose side is he on? This has been an exciting contest thus far, and the question remains, will it be John Morrison who faces CM Punk for the ECW title on the grandest stage of them all?
Well, things haven't turned out quite like we expected. We're underway calling this Anything Goes Extreme Rules match.
You're right, JR. This is going to be off the hook. Taz is out of retirement, and he'll be teaming for one night only against the ECW champion.
This is Dreamer's first official match since returning from that chest injury, an injury caused by the man he's teaming with tonight. And you have to wonder whether there's any bad blood still brewing.
There better not be. When you're against two competitors like Burke and Taz, you're going to have to work together just to survive. When you think about how long Taz has been out of action, he's gotten right back up to speed.
You're right, King. There's not an ounce of ring rust on the human suplex machine. This match has so many combustible elements. An ECW icon comes out of retirement to team with the former champion. And the new champion teams with a man he beat, the man he sent to the hospital.
Like you said, each of these men have held the ECW title, JR. That just makes this match even more exciting.
It's been a long time coming, but it's all legal here tonight. CM Punk finally getting his shot at revenge at the man who cost him the ECW title. And I'm talking about Taz here, whose actions of late are just so unusual. Well, things haven't turned out quite like we expected. We're underway calling this Steel Cage match.
You're right, JR. This is going to be off the hook. Taz is out of retirement, and he'll be teaming for one night only against the ECW champion.
I'll tell you, folks, things haven't turned out quite like we expected. We're underway calling this Tables match.
You're right, JR. This is going to be off the hook. Taz is out of retirement, and he'll be teaming for one night only against the ECW champion.
Can you believe this, King? Fresh off a huge win against Taz and Elijah Burke, these two are going at it again.
Punk got his retribution, JR, and now he wants to take things one step further to prove he's the true ECW champion by taking Dreamer to the extreme one last time. That was a grueling matchup, JR. You have to wonder what state these two competitors' bodies are in after that.
I don't think it matters, King. Dreamer and Punk aren't thinking about exhaustion anymore. This is above that. This is Wrestlemania. This is for the ECW title. Tommy Dreamer is synonymous with the word extreme and an ECW icon. CM Punk is the new face of extreme and the current ECW champion. This is old school versus new school. This is friend versus friend. This is for the ECW championship. Can Tommy Dreamer do it? Can Tommy Dreamer reclaim the championship he lost just 3 months ago? He's fought hard. He's overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. But can Punk do it one more time and retain his title at WrestleMania? I don't believe it. After all they've been through, after all they've done, the human suplex machine and CM Punk are going at it one more time.
There's an awful lot of hatred between these two, JR, and now they've got no one else to get in their way.
These two competitors are worn down, King. Their bodies are battered and bruised. That was an intense physical contest, but the night's not over yet.
You knew Punk wasn't going to let Taz have the victory. He needs closure, and he's looking to get it right now.
The human suplex machine has been the ECW champion on several occasions. He knows what it's like to hold that title. Can he do it one more time? And if he does, boomer sooner to you, Taz.
He must be feeling the effects of the earlier match, JR. But if there's one person who could pull off the victory here tonight, it's Taz.
Punk's taking Taz to the limit. After two vicious, two brutally physical matches, Punk must be starting to earn the respect from this ECW original.
I never thought I'd say it, but you might be right, JR.
Taz represents ECW's past. Punk, ECW's future. Which one of these amazing athletes will walk away from WrestleMania the ECW champion?
Whoa! Hardy and Punk! This one's gonna be ridiculous, Styles!
You're right there, partner. These are two of WWE's hottest young stars, and you can be sure they're going to give it their all. Both Hardy and Punk wrestle very similar high-risk styles.
And that means it's gonna be hard for one to get the advantage over the other.
You have to think, whoever wins this match will get a huge boost in confidence.
And that's always the product of intense matches like this. You slip up, you're gonna regret it.
Both Hardy and Punk are a great fit here on ECW with their extreme style of wrestling.
This has definitely been a hard-hitting match, Joey, but there must be a winner.
For the second week in a row, these two superstars are putting their bodies on the line, all in the hope of going to the Royal Rumble for a shot at the ECW Championship.
And with stakes like that, you know they won't hold anything back.
After the outcome of last week's match, Jeff Hardy must be feeling nervous.
There's no doubt about it that Punk's got the psychological advantage, but you and I know Hardy's never scared.
Don't you think it's a bit strange that Tommy Dreamer would offer to defend his title against the winner of this match?
Not at all, Joey. Tommy's a proud competitor, and he knows these two very well.
Just remember, whoever comes out on top in this match will receive an ECW title shot at the Royal Rumble. Hardy and Punk have had extreme contests over the past few weeks, but tonight they're teaming up to take on two fearsome competitors.
If they're going to have a chance of winning, they'll need to put their past behind them and work together as a cohesive unit.
You can tell Hardy's feeling the effects of the Extreme Rules match last week. He appears to be favoring his leg. I wonder how that will affect the outcome of the match. By winning the match last week, CM Punk has earned his shot at the Royal Rumble.
But he can't afford to look past the match. Burke and Morrison are just as tough as they come.
You have to imagine that Morrison and Burke may be jealous about Punk's ECW title opportunity.
And if I was Punk, I'd watch my back. These guys have got to be ticked off.
There's no doubting the competitive level of Punk and Hardy getting in the ring again after 2 brutal matches in previous weeks.
That just comes with the territory. If you're asked to compete, you give it all you got. Plain and simple. You don't think about what might happen afterwards.
What a strange relationship we have brewing between Tommy Dreamer and CM Punk, as the champion asks his challenger to watch his back tonight.
One thing I like about Punk is that he's a competitor, and he's not looking for any shortcuts. He wants Dreamer at his best.
What the? Morrison enters the ring and strikes Dreamer. He just got Burke disqualified. This is it, Taz. This is where it all comes to a head. CM Punk versus Tommy Dreamer for the ECW title. Do you think Dreamer will regret his decision?
We'll just have to wait and see, Joey. This one could go either way.
Just 5 days ago, Punk had Dreamer's back against Elijah Burke. But after Morrison's interference, it looked like Punk was going to strike Dreamer.
Hey, look, when ECW title's on the line, friendship counts for nothing.
Later on tonight, we've got the Royal Rumble. But right now, everyone's focus is on the ECW title and the sacrifice CM Punk has had to make to get this far.
What you see in the ring is the future of this business.
You've got that right, partner. CM Punk is a truly outstanding superstar.
I'm not talking about Punk, man. I'm talking about Morrison. This is a man with pure wrestling know-how. Punk now, that's a different story. His viciousness has no place on TV.
Just 1 week ago, CM Punk was the ECW champion before being screwed out of the title by Stephanie McMahon
And who, Joey?
and you, Taz.
I didn't screw anybody, Styles. It's that simple. I did what's right for this company and the future of this business. Our superstars need protection, and that's what I got them.
As the action gets more intense, you have to wonder, who will advance? Will Punk take a step towards regaining the title he never lost, or will Morrison pick up the win?
Personally, I hope it's Morrison. After what he did to Dreamer, Punk doesn't deserve a damn thing. Plain and simple.
Just over 2 weeks ago, CM Punk won the ECW title following a stunning victory over Tommy Dreamer. But thanks to the actions of my broadcast colleague and Stephanie McMahon, Extreme Rules matches have now been banned, and Punk was stripped of the title, which leads us to this moment here tonight, and this semi-final match to crown a new champion. If Punk can win, he'll just be 1 match away from regaining the ECW title. Burke is a fantastic athlete, an amazing competitor, but like it or not, Taz, I'm biased. CM Punk is our champion and deserves to advance to the finals. Can Punk do it? Can Punk make it to the finals and regain his title? What's going on here? Burke's scheduled to face Jeff Hardy for our tournament finals, but Punk's jumped him.
And once again, CM Punk takes a brilliant athlete and throws them into a dangerous, violent situation. I'm telling you, this man's a menace. This is how Punk does things, Joey. He's a reckless, he's vicious, he's nothing but a thug. Guy's gotta be gone.
Back in the day, that's what people used to call you, Taz.
Enough, Joey, enough. Let me ask you something, Styles. Is this really the kind of guy you want as ECW champion? A guy that leaves his opponent laid out in a hospital bed without 1 ounce of remorse.
That's just your opinion, Taz. In reality, I'm sure Punk feels bad for his friend Tommy, but both of those men are well aware of the risks of competing in ECW.
In whose reality? Maybe you better get Burke out of here and see what he thinks of Punk.
CM Punk has fought valiantly here tonight, but will he get his ECW title back, or does the road end with the 500-pound mastodon? Punk's been getting his revenge here tonight. Can Punk keep Burke down for the 10 count? Can Punk leave here the ECW champion? Just last week, Punk came so close to regaining the ECW title. Elijah Burke was down for the count until someone decided to interfere.
Hey, get off my back. What I did was good for ECW, plain and simple.
After their sneak attack on Mysterio 3 weeks ago, you can bet the tag champs are feeling pretty smug. I doubt they're quite so happy now. Despite everything they've been through, despite everything they've sacrificed, despite every ounce of punishment they've been forced to endure over the last few months, these two are putting on a hell of a match. Quite honestly, I don't think Santino has a prayer in this matchup. Santino's a crafty, loud, arrogant individual who always has a plan in the works. Two monsters will collide in the ring tonight. What a main event. Undertaker versus the Great Khali. It literally doesn't get any bigger than this. Santino and Finlay had to have known this beating was coming. Undertaker never forgives and never forgets. The Brothers of Destruction have been cornered here in a sense. They may be brothers, but they won't hesitate to tear each other limb from limb. The urn looks to have some supernatural power, but are they affecting Kane? If so, what will it take to snap the Big Red Machine out of his trance-like state? Kane definitely seems to be in a possessed, trance-like state. What will the dead man need to do to snap his brother out of this? There's the bell, and I think I see a hint of a smile on Undertaker as his brother gets some measured revenge on New School. Don't expect Kane to show Finlay any compassion after New School's cowardly actions last week. New School's problems will not end tonight. If they survive their battle with Kane, they still have the Undertaker waiting his turn. The Brothers of Destruction are on the same wavelength here. They know exactly what the other is thinking. Who would have thought Kane, a 7-foot monster, would be so helpless over a power we've never seen? As far as dominating WWE duos go, the Brothers of Destruction might be at the top of the list, and you can see why. This may be a warm-up match for No Way Out, but I expect fireworks to fly here between the Phenom and Finlay. After witnessing Kane's destruction of Santino earlier, I wouldn't be surprised if Undertaker tried to top his brother in a showing of all-out brutality. I wouldn't want to be in New School's shoes at No Way Out. I predict Kane and Undertaker will prove why they're called the Brothers of Destruction this Sunday. Does Finlay have what it takes to defeat Undertaker? Or will New School go into No Way Out 0-2 against the Brothers of Destruction? The wait is over. The Brothers of Destruction now get to tear New School apart in this hardcore tag match. And this one's going to get ugly fast. There's no telling what barbarism will occur in this match, but I'm sure the brothers have something violent in mind. We've seen him send gifts, we've seen his power, but we have yet to see the man. Who is this mysterious force, and what is his end game? It's a race to get the urn. With so much on the line, who will figure out a way to get there first? New School had the dead man right where they wanted him, but it appears that they're fighting with themselves instead of capitalizing on this advantage. It looks like this handicap match hasn't worked out quite like Boogeyman thought. Undertaker has an ally out there in New School, and I wonder if that urn blast didn't have something to do with this. Can the Phenom, like he has so many times in his career, escape certain doom again here tonight? There's the bell, and Ray isn't sure what the hell's going on here as he stares into the eyes of his possessed opponent. And frankly, he wouldn't be the only one. If Undertaker is in fact the puppet master, Mysterio may get an easy win to put even more embarrassment on New School. Rey Mysterio is one of the most versatile, high-flying superstars in WWE history. Even without Undertaker's aid, my money would be on Mysterio. I don't know how much New School has left as Undertaker continues to toy with them. With his Wrestlemania record on the line, can Undertaker claim vengeance on the Boogeyman for 3 months of torment? Undertaker looks like he's about to write the final chapter in the book of New School, but will Boogeyman close the book on The Undertaker this Sunday? Last Friday, Undertaker snapped Boogeyman's staff, the same staff that injured his brother Kane. Will the Phenom break the rest of Boogeyman tonight? Hell in a Cell is Satan's structure to be sure. No man leaves here the same. Everybody makes a sacrifice in this cage. Undertaker's Wrestlemania record of 16-0 is on the line, but can Boogeyman find a way to take the one thing that's more important to The Undertaker than his record? His soul. Here we go, and earlier tonight, The Miz suffered a crushing loss to Mysterio's good friend, the Animal Batista. Morrison might try to make this match personal. Miz fell earlier. Will Morrison have the same fate? Ever since arriving here on SmackDown, Hawkins and Ryder have stuck to World Heavyweight Champion Edge like a rash. A win by Batista and Mysterio would certainly send a huge message to the champion. Batista and Mysterio, an odd couple if there ever was one, are in complete control. Do Ryder and Hawkins have enough in the tank? This is the sort of match that sends shivers down my spine. 4 of the biggest superstars in the WWE are battling, and only one team can come out on top. Say what you will about their attitude, but Morrison and Miz are phenomenal young athletes. While the Animal and Mysterio have the experience, Miz and Morrison have been extremely successful over the last year, almost always holding championship gold. They may be good friends, but with one of them winning the Royal Rumble and the other falling just short, you have to wonder, are there any bad feelings between Mysterio and Batista? The best of Raw, taking on the best of SmackDown in a huge matchup. Heck, who am I kidding? This is going to be an all-out war. Just moments ago, Edge tempted Rey and Batista into this match, offering to face one at No Way Out and the other at WrestleMania. But with a guy like Edge, you've got to question his motives. What does Edge look to gain from this partnership? SmackDown's best have taken the fight to Raw, but can they put him away? It's been a hellacious contest, but the battle could soon be over. Can SmackDown's trio put their differences aside? Who's going to win brand supremacy? There's a phenomenal size difference between these two teams. Big Daddy V's over 3 times the size of Rey Mysterio, and that's something Rey's got to watch out for. After the altercation last week, you can be sure Rey and Batista are going to be watching their backs. Who knows what Edge has planned? This one's friend against friend as the tag team champs just go at it tooth and nail. When he arranged for this match, Edge knew there was a chance one of the superstars would get injured, and that'll just make his title defense a whole lot easier. These two have given it their all tonight, but will they have anything left to take on Edge? These men have just beaten the absolute hell out of each other. But who will leave No Way Out? World champion. Mysterio's so close. Can he dig down deep and become world champion again? The Animal's so close. Can he dig down deep and become world champion again? Edge came out ahead at No Way Out, but will he have the same fortune at WrestleMania? What a tag match this one's going to be as Batista and Mysterio defend their titles against the Brothers of Destruction. When you're against a tag team like the Brothers of Destruction, you really can't afford to be sidetracked. Rey and Batista have fought off one challenge from the Brothers of Destruction, but now, just 5 days removed from a brutal title match, can they do it again? You can almost see the friction between Batista and Rey. And this really isn't the same Batista-Mysterio combination we've come to expect. Edge has really done a number on these men. This has been a brutal match, and the situation's now clear. This relationship is broken down, but who's going to pick up the win? The Animal's a proud competitor, but has he bitten off more than even he can chew? Batista looking to send a message here tonight. He's on his own, and he's headed for WrestleMania. Batista said he was more focused, and he's certainly proven that tonight. He's decimated the WWE Tag Team Champions single-handedly. Mysterio's been an underdog his whole life, but what he lacks in stature, he more than makes up for in heart. Rey unloading on the Tag Team Champions. Mysterio is fired up and heading to WrestleMania on a high. The Tag Team Champions have played a brutal numbers game here tonight, and things aren't looking good for the underdog Mysterio. Here we go, and Rey has to find some way to overcome the 500-pound Big Daddy V. Big Daddy V is a monster, an absolute beast. The Mastodon is so dominating in size, power, and strength. The Mastodon is weakened. Can Rey capitalize? Batista must be one ticked-off animal tonight after coming up short at the Royal Rumble and losing the WWE Tag Team titles just 2 weeks ago. Batista now finds himself without a match at WrestleMania. Batista and his former partner Rey Mysterio have had a roller coaster ride. Now without titles and without friends, the Animal looks to take his frustrations out on a 500-pound Mastodon. Big Daddy V is weakened. Can Batista capitalize? Here we go, and there are no friends in this ring. It's every man for himself. It's for the World Championship. This is WrestleMania. It all comes down to this. These three have battled to the edge of exhaustion. Who has enough left? What a match. Each of these superstars has put their bodies and their careers on the line, but who's going to leave with the World Heavyweight title? Just 5 days removed from his grueling title match at No Way Out, Rey Mysterio has a huge challenge ahead of him tonight in the form of the Mastodon, Big Daddy V. After what we just witnessed, it looks like Batista's actually looking forward to the title defense against Mysterio at WrestleMania. But I wonder if the road to WrestleMania will be as smooth as Mysterio hopes. 5 days after his grueling match at No Way Out, Mysterio can't be 100%. Big Daddy V is so imposing, but Mysterio seems to have figured out how to get the better of this 500-pound giant. Heading into WrestleMania, we now know what our main event is going to be. The champion Rey Mysterio versus Batista for the World Heavyweight title. This one has all the makings of a classic, and it seems both champion and challenger are looking forward to it. These two are pulling no punches. They're taking no prisoners. Both of them know this could be their last shot at the World Heavyweight title and their last ticket to WrestleMania. Batista has the champ reeling. I'm getting a feeling of deja vu. Will the Animal retain? Here we go, as Edge, wasting little time exercising his rematch clause, takes on the man who beat him just 5 days ago for the World Heavyweight title. Rey and Edge are going all out in this match. Both men must see the title as their ticket to WrestleMania, and neither of them wants to be without it. This time around, we're on an even playing field. There's no stipulation and no interference, just a classic one-on-one match. Edge wants nothing more than to go to WrestleMania as world champion, but Rey has other plans. They say lightning doesn't strike twice, but Mysterio's about to prove them wrong. Rey's on a roll. Can he pick up the win? Let's make no bones about it. Mysterio earned a title shot at the Royal Rumble. He beat 30 other superstars, yet now Stephanie McMahon thinks she can strip him of his right if he doesn't win here. It's not enough that he won the Royal Rumble. It's not good enough that he beat Big Daddy V last week. Now, by order of Stephanie McMahon, Batista's got to take on both the Mastodon and the former world champion Edge to keep his title shot. Batista up against the odds here tonight as he faces two dominant competitors in this triple threat match. Fortunately for the Animal, Rey Mysterio has been granted permission to manage him during this match. The Animal's unleashing his power tonight, sending a message to Stephanie McMahon as he moves on down the road to WrestleMania. As if taking on The Miz and John Morrison wasn't enough, the 7-foot Punjabi Nightmare is also here to inflict pain on Batista and Mysterio. Mysterio and Batista, the perfect combination of power and agility, have their opponents reeling tonight. Just when you think it can't get any worse, Stephanie McMahon goes and pulls something like this. A tables match against two of the most powerful and deadly superstars in the WWE, Kane and The Undertaker. By putting the tag champs in a match like this just 2 days before WrestleMania, Stephanie McMahon is sowing the seeds of disaster. If either one of these men gets injured tonight, it could jeopardize their chances at WrestleMania. This match is truly testing if these men can coexist, but if they don't trust each other, neither one may make it to WrestleMania. Things are going the tag team champions' way. Even with the title match just around the corner, these two are showing a united front. And there's the bell. It's two men, two friends, one title, and what a match this is going to be. These two proud competitors have had to put their friendship to the side tonight and focus entirely on the gold. What a match. Batista and Mysterio are both such incredible talents. What a WrestleMania. Who's going to leave World Heavyweight Champion? The Undertaker is a surefire Hall of Famer with 2 decades of destruction. This man takes no prisoners, and Santino Marella will be no exception. The dead man has Santino in the ropes. Can he finish this one off? The Undertaker has a point to prove here. Shutting up Finlay after claiming he has the dead man's number has to be the Phenom's top priority. The question has to be brought up. Will The Undertaker go into the Royal Rumble with a coveted world title around his waist? Here we go, and Undertaker can't be too focused on who the man is right now with Edge, the ultimate opportunist, staring down at him. Santino and Finlay now call themselves New School, and on some level, you gotta think that's a jab at the seasoned veteran. Edge and Undertaker have a tremendous history with each other. They've traded world championships and have had some classic battles. Who will claim victory tonight? I think it's fairly safe to say that Miz is the underdog in this contest. Batista, a former World Heavyweight Champion and Tag Team Champion, must be feeling pretty confident as the match wears on. Both of these superstars are putting it all on the line as a win for either could secure them a spot at WrestleMania. Batista, one of SmackDown's most dominant competitors, is giving The Miz a reality check here tonight. The Animal's hurting. What an upset it'd be if The Miz could pick up the win. Mysterio's smaller but quicker than Morrison, and that speed could give him the advantage. Rey Mysterio is no stranger to singles competition. A former world champion, Rey's looking to get the ball rolling on his road to WrestleMania. The momentum's on Mysterio's side. Can he put one half of the tag team champions away? Last week we saw Mysterio and Batista, one of the greatest tag teams in SmackDown history, reform. But they can't afford to look past their opponents, the talented Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, in this match. When you haven't tagged in a while, there's bound to be a bit of ring rust, but Mysterio and Batista look to have fallen right back to their dominating ways. They've only had one match since getting back as a team, but now Batista and Mysterio face their greatest challenge yet, the Brothers of Destruction, Kane and The Undertaker. In many matches, there's a clear underdog, but in a contest like this, it's split down the middle. This one really could go either way. This has been a huge test of Mysterio and Batista's teamwork, but they've risen to every challenge. Can they seal the victory here tonight? Going into this match, the two favorites had to be Batista and Rey Mysterio. Both have been on a huge roll as of late, and both have won the Royal Rumble. Just 5 days ago, these men competed in the Royal Rumble, and now Mysterio and Batista must defend their titles against the former champs. Batista and Rey have certainly done a great job getting under Miz and Morrison's skin, but the former tag champs are looking to reclaim what they believe is theirs. The challengers are hungry. They want their revenge. They want their titles back, but can they get the win? All four of these men wrestled in a grueling matchup at the Rumble, but the tag team titles are on the line tonight. Who's going to come out on top? Edge is a calculating opportunist, but will his scheming ways pay off again tonight? You have to give it to Edge. Talking Stephanie into pitting these two challengers, Batista and Mysterio, against each other just days before his title defense is every bit as smart as it is wrong. Here we go with this anything goes, no disqualification match for the World Championship. After the grueling match he had last week, you know Mysterio's hurting. But with the World Heavyweight Championship on the line, he's got to give it everything he's got. The champion's hurting. The finish line's in sight. Will Edge's own tricks cost him the title? After the grueling match he had last week, you know Batista's hurting. But with the World Heavyweight title on the line, he's got to give it everything he's got. Here we go in this Tornado Tag title match. And after that Kane chokeslam last week, I don't know how well Mysterio and Batista will coexist tonight. All good things must come to an end, and it looks like that's true tonight. Batista and Mysterio, the WWE Tag Team Champions, could be wrestling together for the last time. Just 1 week after breaking up with his tag team partner, Batista may be in over his head here, facing not one, but both of the WWE Tag Team Champions. Morrison and Miz have spotted a wounded animal, and they're all too eager to capitalize. Batista's being battered by the tag team champions. Just 1 week after breaking up with his tag team partner, Mysterio may be in over his head here, facing not one, but both of the WWE Tag Team Champions. Rey and his former partner Batista have had a roller coaster ride. Now without titles and without friends, Rey looks to take his frustrations out on the biggest man he could find. Batista, Rey, and Edge have had a turbulent relationship the last few months, and at this point, the only thing that matters to any of these competitors is leaving WrestleMania world champion. These three men are having an epic contest. All the pain, all the aggression, everything Edge has put them through over the past few months is coming out now. Mysterio has the Mastodon wounded. Could history be about to repeat itself? Can David slay Goliath again? Here we go, and I sincerely hope that the EMTs are ready to rush out here. I have a feeling this one will get ugly. He must still be nursing bruises following No Way Out, but the animal certainly isn't showing it as he takes the fight to Big Daddy V. These two forces have beaten the hell out of each other in a fantastic contest. Batista's on a roll here. Can he pick up the win? It was just 5 days ago when Batista beat Edge for the World Heavyweight title, but the former champs wasted no time in exercising his rematch clause. Now Edge takes on Batista one more time for the World Heavyweight Championship. Edge is looking for vengeance, but Batista has the upper hand. There's the bell, as Rey's pitted against two men he doesn't exactly get along with, Edge and Big Daddy V. Mysterio has the absolute heart of a lion. Can he go to WrestleMania? Mysterio could do this. Mysterio could pick up the win against all odds. Another week, another ruling by Stephanie McMahon, and once again the deck is stacked firmly against the tag team champions as they take on three competitors in a 2-on-3 handicap match. Morrison and The Miz are out for revenge here tonight, looking to inflict some punishment on the people who beat them to win the tag team titles. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in for a stellar main event here as the Dead Man takes on the quick-tongued Santino. This isn't going to be a technical matchup. It's The Undertaker, the best pure striker in the game, versus the tough-nosed Irishman Finlay. Finlay certainly is one tough individual. He's got stamina and an iron jaw. Santino may have to put his money where his mouth is when this bet is settled. Finlay is beyond a shadow of a doubt one of the most rugged individuals on the WWE roster. There's nothing quite like stepping into the ring with Undertaker, one of the WWE's most frightening, intimidating, and decorated superstars. Can Undertaker keep his momentum rolling? He's been victorious over Finlay and Santino in recent weeks, but will he add the Punjabi Nightmares name to that list? Undertaker had the title won last week against the Great Khali until New School interfered in the match. And I, for one, predict the Undertaker will soon go old school against the New School. Undertaker has been plagued by the man recently, but who could he be? Is it one of the current superstars? Someone we haven't seen before? Is it Edge? Who? You know the Undertaker will never cower. It doesn't matter if it's 1, 2, or 20 men. The Phenom backs down from no mortal. It's apparent these presents were not brought in good faith. What can Undertaker do here? He's dealing with powers he's never faced before. Keep in mind that we have no idea what the man has in store for the Brothers of Destruction. He's certainly shown he possesses a dark, unholy power. Finlay can hold his own with any man in WWE, but the Phenom's not a normal man. Involving Kane in their 2-month battle with Undertaker may very well lead to New School's demise here tonight. Knowing how brutal a hardcore match can be, I have an eerie feeling there'll be no way out for these 4 superstars. There's the bell, and this ladder match isn't for titles or prizes, it's for your soul. The man was given a face at No Way Out, and Boogeyman proved to be the sorcerer behind the plot that has consumed Undertaker. There are no reinforcements for Undertaker tonight. His brother Kane has been hospitalized after Boogeyman's supernatural assault, and there's no telling when we'll see him again. If New School gets that urn, it could spell doom for Undertaker. The Phenom could become their demonic puppet. Here we go in this handicap contest, but for the dead man, outnumbered doesn't always mean outmatched. We've seen urns, magic staffs, and possessed men. Smackdown has become the unholy playground of the Boogeyman's darkest nightmare. I think it's safe to assume that the Phenom is pulling the strings in this match. There's the bell, and with WrestleMania on the horizon, Undertaker is looking to end New School here tonight. The battle at WrestleMania between Undertaker and Boogeyman is shaping up to be a unique encounter between 2 dark forces. Undertaker overcame the power of the urn, but can he overcome the power of Boogeyman at WrestleMania? Good God, here we go, and how appropriate is it that these 2 demons square off in the Hell in a Cell? It's been a long time coming for Boogeyman. He's provoked Undertaker for months, and tonight the battle will conclude between these 2 unholy beings. The road to WrestleMania begins here tonight for Batista as he takes on The Miz in one-on-one competition. Just last week, Batista saved Mysterio from a vicious attack from the tag team champions. A win tonight would move them further up the tag team rankings and closer to their revenge. The Brothers of Destruction are such a dominating force. The fact that Batista and Rey have taken it to them speaks miles for this team. Here we go in this tag team title match. They've been making big waves in the tag team division. But do Mysterio and Batista have what it takes to defeat Morrison and The Miz? Morrison and The Miz are getting taken to the woodshed. Will we see new tag team champions? There's so much on the line in this match, with the winner receiving a title shot at WrestleMania. The stats speak for themselves. Almost 60% of all Royal Rumble winners have gone on to win the title at WrestleMania, and every one of these superstars will give it their all to get that shot. These superstars have been through it all tonight. They sacrificed life and limb, sweat and blood, and heart and soul to get to this moment. But which one's going to come out on top? It's been a long haul for these competitors. Which superstar will survive? Who's going to WrestleMania? Though you know Edge won't admit it, he's turned to the best here tonight. After all, who better to watch your back than the WWE Tag Team Champions? There's the bell, and after that uncalled-for spear last week, you can't blame the animal for wanting to get even with Edge. But as always, Edge has a card up his sleeve, the 500-pound mastodon, Big Daddy V. The animal and Rey unloading tonight, getting some measure of revenge. Both men are bruised, both men are battered, but who's going to pick up the win, and what does this mean for No Way Out? Mysterio and Batista are on a roll. The Brothers of Destruction are hurting. Can they pick up the win? Mysterio's looking to send a message here tonight. He's on his own, and he's headed for WrestleMania. After their vicious title match at No Way Out, these men must be hurting. But when the world title's on the line, pain is not an option. At least the odds aren't completely against Mysterio tonight. Having Batista out as some form of backup should at least mean Mysterio can't be double-teamed. Finlay and Santino are trying to outwit The Undertaker, the master of mind games, by using that urn.
The wait is finally over. It's time for pure, unbridled hatred to take center stage as weeks of tension between Cena and MVP finally come to a head. This is our main event. This is Wrestlemania. Triple H is on fire here tonight.
Now Edge and Kennedy know why he's called the King of Kings.
And here we go with this handicap match. As the King of Kings, Triple H takes on two competitors he beat last week to become the #1 contender.
Like you said, it's a handicap match. Triple H is on his own out there. Maybe he's bitten off more than he could chew.
It's been a grueling match so far. Triple H has taken his opponent to the limit. But does he have enough left to capture the WWE title?
I wouldn't want to be in the ring with Triple H tonight. He came so close to winning the WWE title last week, only to be screwed out of it by these two.
They cost Triple H his WWE title, and you can be sure he's out for revenge.
Could you believe what happened last week, JR? Randy Orton actually defending Triple H?
I can't explain the logic behind it, but Triple H should be wary of Orton. I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him. This is brutal. Triple H, the cerebral assassin, showing why he's the deadliest player in the game in this no disqualification match.
Less than a week ago, Orton and the Game were at each other's throats, JR. Can they really coexist tonight?
So far, they're taking care of business. I gotta say, these two are an absolute match made in hell. What a match, King. These four competitors have put each other through hell.
Did you expect anything less, JR? Orton and Triple H are out here to send a message. Orton, Flair, and Triple H got back in the swing of things last night, painting the town red.
There's more than a hint of evolution to all this, King. But is that what the Game really wants? They're back together for one night. But can DX pick up the win? Just when you think things can't get any bigger, now Evolution takes their turn in the spotlight.
Thankfully, this is only a one-night deal. I'd be scared if they joined forces on a regular basis.
London and Kendrick have a huge task ahead of them. One of the brightest young tag teams of recent years, teaming against arguably the most dominant faction of all time.
But if Kendrick and London can pick up a win here tonight, just imagine the bragging rights.
I had goosebumps seeing Triple H and Michaels back together last week. Tonight, there's a cold shiver running down my spine.
With Evolution on one side and DX on the other, will Triple H be pulled apart?
He's certainly in between a rock and a hard place, King. Torn between two friends, and one's going to lose out.
Triple H teamed with both Evolution and DX in recent weeks. I wonder which one he preferred.
For the WWE's sake, I hope he stays as far away from Orton as possible. One of the things that must be weighing on these competitors' minds is how will Triple H call this match?
I can tell you right now, the Game will call this match the way that suits his needs. Now that Michaels has a new tag team partner, maybe he could start DX back up.
Anything's possible, but I'm not sure Cody's half the degenerate Triple H is. Triple H played Orton flawlessly and forced his way into the title picture at WrestleMania. But first, he's got to survive Batista.
And when you're against an animal like Batista, you'd better make sure you stay focused on him.
Even if Triple H wins here tonight, you know Orton will use every trick in the book at WrestleMania to walk out with the WWE title.
And that's why he's the champ, JR. He never goes into a match without a trick up his sleeve.
Just 6 days ago, Orton must have been on top of the world. Evolution had reunited. The champ had the King of Kings in his corner. But the Game had other ideas.
Orton can't afford to think about that now, JR. This is WrestleMania. This is his title match. And if he wants to leave the champion, he's got to stay focused.
Michaels is pleading with the Game to knock Orton and Batista down. But this is 2 against 1.
What a hard-hitting contest this has been, JR. Most teams would have been demolished against a force like Evolution. But DX is not most teams.
You're right there, King. Triple H and Shawn Michaels are 2 of the most experienced superstars around. Triple H and Shawn Michaels' friendship flows strong. Just 2 weeks ago, Michaels won the WWE title with the help of the Game. Here we go with an incredible main event. A #1 contenders match for the WWE title.
That's right, JR. And one of these men, either Triple H or Randy Orton, will go on to face Mr. WrestleMania, Shawn Michaels, on the grandest stage of them all.
With the WWE title looming on the horizon, will the King climb back on his throne, or are we headed for another age of Orton? This press conference has broken down.
And now we've got a tables match on our hands.
Can you believe the jealousy of Orton? In 6 days, Michaels and Triple H face each other at WrestleMania, and he'll be damned if they arrive in one piece.
Look on the bright side, JR. We're just 1 week away from WrestleMania, so this is the last time Evolution can get involved.
You're right there, King. And there'll be no fun and games this Sunday when HBK takes on the Game for the WWE title. This has been brutal enough already, but the only way to win is to put both your opponents through a table. Whether they're friends or not, these two are out to destroy each other.
When it comes to the WWE Championship, there's no friends. It's just you, that title, and the man standing in your way.
There's no DX jokes tonight. There's no Evolution interference. By God, this is WrestleMania. This is for the WWE Championship. This match will determine the challenger to face John Cena for his WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble.
And more importantly, after tonight's match, will the winner even be physically able to challenge Cena for the title?
Chris Jericho won a grueling fatal four-way match against the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels, Legend Killer Randy Orton, and Mr. Kennedy that set him up as the number one contender for a shot at the title.
I wouldn't say he won that match as much as he survived it, JR. That was just an all-out war.
We're underway, and this weekend, King, Shawn Michaels will be in the Royal Rumble. Chris Jericho has a chance to become the WWE Champion, but tonight it's simply Y2J versus HBK in a classic matchup.
And both men know they can't look beyond their opponents tonight. Chris Jericho's fought a hard road to earn the number one contender spot. Not only did he beat Mr. Kennedy and Randy Orton in a fatal four-way, he beat this man too, Shawn Michaels.
And I can tell you, that fact's not lost on HBK. You gotta think he wants to pay Jericho some measure of revenge. And the self-proclaimed wrestling god, JBL's in a foul mood after losing his Intercontinental Championship less than 24 hours ago against young Cody Rhodes.
Well, let's face it, JR. JBL was pretty banged up after that brutal match against Holly the week before.
It definitely hasn't been a good couple of weeks for either JBL or Y2J. I frankly don't see how facing Umaga gets Chris Jericho any closer to finding out who screwed him at the Royal Rumble.
The only thing facing Umaga gets you closer to is an early retirement.
So far, HBK and Y2J have worked well together. Now can they finish off this sinister team of Kennedy and Orton?
I hope Mr. Kennedy's got a strong jaw, cause he may have bitten off more than he can chew.
If he thinks he can face Jericho and then go into a championship match, he's sorely mistaken. As of late, Chris Jericho has been conducting his own investigation on the identity of the Masked Man. Maybe tonight he finally hit a nerve with Kennedy.
Well, if Kennedy is the Masked Man, Jericho's going to be hitting a lot more than nerves. I've got it, JR. Once Jericho pulls that mask off, he'll be staring straight into the face of Jeff Hardy.
What? Just a minute ago, you were convinced it was Kennedy. And now, out of nowhere, Hardy's a culprit.
Well, I changed my mind. It's Jeff Hardy. But then again, I wouldn't count Shawn Michaels out entirely either.
Is that? What on earth is Chris Jericho doing out here?
He must want his revenge on Orton. But coming after him during a WWE Championship match with John Cena isn't the smartest move.
Chris Jericho wants to ruin Randy Orton's chance at winning the WWE Championship. Y2J's willfully disobeyed Shane's orders to stay out of this investigation, and that has led him to this point. Jericho could possibly be looking at a suspension, if not a termination.
I think the only thing Jericho wants to terminate is the hold that Masked Man's trying to have on him.
Jericho is desperately trying to rip that mask off, With every tug and pull, it brings us closer to finding out the true identity. After weeks of speculation, we finally have our answer. The masked man was actually masked men. The treacherous Kennedy and Randy Orton are both culprits.
I told you, JR, it was Kennedy and Orton.
I can't believe Shane McMahon is making John Cena compete tonight after the brutal attack he sustained last week at the hands of Randy Orton. Cena won't be 100% in a month, let alone a week.
Cena's one tough customer. He isn't going to ask for any special consideration. Not that he'd get it from Shane.
Winning this contest tonight won't give the winner a major advantage going into WrestleMania. But no one wants to have the mental burden of knowing they came up short in their last outing.
That's right, JR. No one wants to enter WrestleMania with any doubts in the back of their heads.
I wouldn't want to be Mr. Kennedy tonight. Chris Jericho is on the warpath, and he is out for blood. This seems like an insurmountable challenge for Y2J. Jericho must go through 5 competitors to stay in contention for the WWE Championship. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, in a match of such monumental magnitude, it will be hard to register on the Richter scale. Tonight, in an Extreme Rules Fatal 4-Way, the WWE Championship is at stake. Randy Orton, Mr. Kennedy, Chris Jericho, and John Cena.
And this one's not going to be pretty. No elimination, no rules, no mercy.
And it's so fitting that it should come down to this. Y2J, Chris Jericho, against the Legend Killer, Randy Orton, face to face in a no-holds-barred match for the most prized possession in all of sports entertainment, the WWE Championship.
A man can't outrun his destiny, but who's destined to leave champion? Orton or Jericho?
After weeks and weeks of mind games, months and months of treachery, Chris Jericho finally faces off against Randy Orton. These men have been on a collision course, and now they're crashing into each other at full force. I don't think I've ever seen Chris Jericho this hungry, this ravenous for revenge. Jericho doesn't want to beat Orton. He wants to destroy Orton, to put him down once and for all, and finally claim the WWE title that was robbed of him at the Royal Rumble. The mind games are now over. The mental strategy and psychological warfare are through. It's only Orton. It's only Jericho. Man against man. Hunted versus the hunter. On the biggest stage of them all, WrestleMania. There's the bell. And Cena and Mr. Kennedy better be ready for this singles action here tonight, because pinfall, submission, countout, and disqualification are all in effect. The power, the heart this man John Cena has, I'm not just sure it can be duplicated, King.
Before becoming a WWE superstar, was Cena ever a mailman, JR?
Oh boy, I know where this is going.
Because I have a feeling he's going to deliver a win here tonight.
Cena is waiting, biding his time, picking the right place to strike. Will we see the STFU? Will we see the self-proclaimed MVP of SmackDown cry out, "I quit"? John Cena, this superstar, bleeds red, white, and blue.
I have a feeling if we climbed his family tree, JR, we'd run into Uncle Sam.
King William Regal's been a fighter since day one. Make no mistake about it. This man's got a bona fide mean streak, and when he gets you in that ring, he has a variety of ways that he can hurt you.
Here we go. And I, for one, think Regal and Umaga teaming up on John Cena before the Royal Rumble is a tremendously smart move.
Regal, as calculating and manipulative as he is, and the big strong tank Umaga are an absolute match made in hell for Cena. It's time to find out who Raw's most dominant superstar is. It's infantry versus tank. I know this man well, and John Cena will not run from anyone or anything, including a 350-pound Samoan bulldozer.
There's no downplaying the effort in the ring tonight. These two have left nothing to the imagination and continue to battle for their lives.
Cena and Umaga were having a tremendous match 24 hours ago, and it makes my stomach turn how Regal and MVP interfered, getting that match thrown out. John Cena's flame of competition burns in him, and he wants his revenge on Better Than Utopia.
But he can't overlook Kennedy. That's a dangerous man in his own right. I think you can actually see steam coming out of Cena's ears. He can't wait to dishonorably discharge MVP. Wow! MVP's Chief of Security and Secretary of Foreign Affairs possess some serious firepower.
There's no ignoring what this man, Snitsky, is capable of. He's as big as a giant, as strong as a bull, and uglier than a bowling shoe.
As upset as Cena must be about MVP jumping his friend Tony, he's got to stay focused on Snitsky.
Here we go. A gauntlet match stacks the odds, but with a warrior like Cena, Better Than Utopia had better be prepared for a battle. It wasn't easy, but John Cena's defeated Regal, and now he must take on the Samoan bulldozer, the tank, Umaga. In this gauntlet match, Cena's in a war of attrition. There's no rest until he's defeated all three competitors one at a time.
Here's Cena's moment for payback after MVP jumped his friend, jumped one of our soldiers.
Finally, it comes full circle. It's time for the devil to get his due. We've all watched Cena do the unimaginable, the unthinkable. We've seen him pull off some amazing things in his WWE career. But the question remains, can he pull off one more miracle? You don't mess with the USA, and you don't mess with our armed forces. The villainous MVP's discovering right now that you don't mess with John Cena.
We've seen some absolute destruction here in the WWE, but Cena might have just set the new benchmark. Regal's going to be laid up in some utopian hospital instead of being at Wrestlemania. Cena's left MVP rattled and left his world in tatters. And quite honestly, JR, it couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
And Kennedy's got the unenviable task of taking on the impressive John Cena. And once he gets past this challenge, it's the utopian president, MVP.
You mean if he gets past this challenge, JR? Kennedy's not going to roll over and play dead.
I have a feeling at WrestleMania, MVP will learn that there's only so far you can push a man. And when you attack his country and injure his friends, you can count on there being hell to pay.
There'll be no amnesty, JR. No diplomatic immunity. Cena's going to take no prisoners. What an intense match. I love it.
You're right, King. And by the end of this match, we'll have a number one contender for the WWE title. And here we go for our main event for the WWE Championship. Triple H, the Game, the King of Kings, versus that Viper, that Snake, Randy Orton.
Here we go, JR. But after the beating he took last week, is the Game in any state to compete?
I don't know, King, but you can be sure he'll give it his all tonight.
Can you believe the odds are stacked against the Game by his own choosing?
Don't forget, this is no disqualification, King, and that sledgehammer, that constant companion, is a true equalizer. When the Game joined Evolution, he told Orton he had his best interest in mind. Now we know exactly what Triple H meant.
And that wasn't in Orton's best interest at all. He tricked our champion into putting him in this match.
After the humiliation they were dealt last week, you can be sure Evolution is out for retribution tonight.
Last week, Evolution was painted green, but tonight, DX might leave black and blue.
I've got to say, it's been great seeing DX back together over the past few weeks.
But what happens if Triple H wins tonight? You can't expect Michaels and the Game to remain friends if they're facing each other for the WWE Championship.
And here we go. Chris Jericho and Jeff Hardy, one-on-one, to determine who will be in next week's Fatal 4-Way match to decide the number one contender for the WWE Championship.
This matchup can be summed up in one word: explosive.
Jericho has to be on his game tonight, facing the tough and resilient Jeff Hardy.
Resilient is right. Hardy's nearly impossible to keep down.
Remember how much is on the line in this contest. The winner continues to earn a shot at John Cena's championship at the Royal Rumble. It was 2 weeks ago that Chris Jericho and Jeff Hardy battled it out for an opportunity to face John Cena at the Royal Rumble. Now, can these two proud competitors put aside their differences and concentrate on the task at hand?
The task at hand? You make it sound like they're going grocery shopping. These guys are fighting Finlay and Snitsky.
Those strange messages, who will save the Savior and terminate Jericho, are nothing but threats. And Jericho is not a man to threaten. The winner of tonight's match will have a full head of steam heading to the Royal Rumble.
You're right. It's a lot better to go into the Royal Rumble confident with a victory rather than a loss.
And the gall, the unmitigated gall of that masked man just standing there, staring into the ring, must make Chris Jericho's blood boil.
Boil? By the look in Jericho's eyes, I'd say he's volcanic. Shane O'Mac is really doing a number on Chris Jericho. What kind of mind games is Shane trying to pull here?
If the physical punishment Jericho's put himself through isn't enough, the mental challenges to get himself up for these matches really must be taking a terrible toll. What's really baffling is what's the motivation behind all of this? Why target Jericho? The determination of Jericho defies comprehension. Chris is close, so close to WrestleMania he can taste it. The integrity that instills sense of duty to country. John Cena will not allow himself to lose this matchup.
Not with his friends from the military counting on him, he won't. This guy's got too much heart not to win.
Cena is on a tremendous roll. With a decisive victory over MVP back at Tribute to the Troops. And by the way, what a shocker is that? MVP claims to have had sand in his eye. John Cena. I've never seen this man run away from a challenge. And at the Royal Rumble, that philosophy will be put to the test again when Cena steps into the ring with the 350-pound Samoan bulldozer Umaga. And that should be one hell of a matchup.
And then we'll know for sure who the most dominant superstar is on Raw. The Tank Umaga or that infantryman, John Cena. And here we go in this rematch from 4 weeks ago as Kennedy and Cena get ready to do it again. I'm queasy, JR. I can't believe Umaga actually forced Hardy to plant his lips on the globe. Just disgusting.
I know Cena's salivating, anxiously awaiting for his chance to extract some revenge on the rotten Better Than Utopia.
If we could see Cena's thoughts, JR, we'd witness some harsh things being done to Better Than Utopia.
Following that vicious attack, I'm not sure Cena's 100%, but I do know that he'll fight anyway and fight hard.
With the mood Cena's in, I wouldn't want to be William Regal tonight. He's in some serious trouble. Boy, JR, if this is how the Utopians treat an honored guest, I'd hate to see what they do to an enemy of the state. I just had a scary thought. What if Umaga sang the Better Than Utopian national anthem?
That might be a performance that could make the lovely and talented Jillian Hall cringe.
Look out! Cena's on a rampage! He's a one-man army! If Cena takes down Regal, the good news is he'll only have MVP and Umaga left to contend with.
And that will be easier said than done.
Umaga was just in a brutal contest with Tommy Dreamer, and now Cena's looking to finish the job. Cena's out to personally overthrow the Better Than Utopian government.
And after he removes the chief of security from office, you can bet he's heading for the president.
Umaga might be out of a job, JR. The warrior-like strength of John Cena could be more than the Utopian can handle. There's plenty of space to run, JR, but few places MVP can hide. Sooner or later, he'll have to square off against John Cena. Cena's an absolute man possessed. He's bound and determined to hurt MVP tonight.
It looks like MVP's hired himself a new mercenary, the violent Snitsky. Liberation has come in the form of John Cena, and you can't help but feel that better than utopia might be a government on the verge of collapse.
Over the last 3 months, MVP and the Utopians have thrown so much at Cena, yet he's always found a way to prevail. That's got to make them a little nervous at WrestleMania.
I'm sure it does. But MVP's a rat, and the last thing you want to do is to corner a rat and to make it scared for its life. John Cena's soul hums to the tune of the United States national anthem. And watching the despicable actions of MVP was more than this patriot could take.
Well, he's making his feelings known right now. You know, there aren't a whole lot of words to describe a deserter like MVP. I'm not even sure someone like that's worth the breath, JR.
Especially if that someone is the no-good rat MVP.
There's no way, JR, that Triple H is happy with Edge interrupting him earlier.
And Edge may live to regret turning the cerebral assassin's attention towards him.
He's had his back against the wall many times before, but the odds are certainly stacked against the King of Kings tonight.
And that's just how the game likes it. He lives for the challenge and loves overcoming the odds. Next week, the game faces Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. But that's next week. Tonight, Triple H just needs to survive. And you know, King, that damn snake Randy Orton will stop at nothing to hold on to his WWE title.
And Nature Boy better watch his back, JR, or soon there'll be a new dirtiest player in the game.
Triple H and Randy Orton are pulling out all the stops.
Is there a wormhole somewhere, JR? Seeing the old Evolution work together takes me back to 2003. Triple H and Orton are really taking the fight to their opponents.
And if they were ever to put their differences aside, what an impact that'd have on the rest of the WWE. Here we go in this one-fall matchup between Mr. Kennedy and the Game, Triple H. And these two are getting to know each other so well.
There's so much bad blood, they may have trouble sticking to the rules, JR. And speaking of sticking to the rules, how long until Edge comes running out?
I'm just receiving word, King, that Edge has been banned from ringside.
That's great! We'll finally get to see these two go at it, fair and square. We're just a day removed from the Royal Rumble, JR, and these two are back at each other's throats.
Triple H and Mr. Kennedy picking up where they left off less than 24 hours ago. Ladies and gentlemen, set your video recorders and take note of this historic night. For one night only, one of the greatest teams of all time reunite.
And if you're not down with that, I'm sure they got a couple words for you.
There's no denying the toughness of Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch, but they're going to have to dig deep if they're to beat Triple H and Shawn Michaels. If you'd have asked me a few days ago, I never would have dreamed I'd be calling this reunion match with DX.
And next week, we get the official return of Evolution.
There's no doubting the heart and courage of London and Kendrick, but the might of Evolution may prove too much for them. After all the emotional turmoil of recent weeks, this should be a straightforward match for Triple H as he takes on the gold standard, Shelton Benjamin.
But Benjamin's no pushover, JR, and you have to wonder how the game's emotional state may affect the outcome of this match.
This match may be coming to an end, and the Orton-Michaels saga is too, this Sunday for the WWE title. One thing's obvious. If we're to have a winner, Triple H will have to take a side tonight.
And you just know Triple H had the winner picked before the opening bell.
It's been a classic match so far, and a heck of a decision lies ahead for Triple H. When his hand counts 3, there will be no way out of the Game's decision. It all may be coming to a close. Michaels versus Orton. Triple H has to make a decision. He has to make the count. Who will he choose? Their fate belongs to the Game. Stop it! Somebody stop it! Michaels is going to be maimed out there. He may be hurt. He may be wounded. But the courageous Shawn Michaels is in that ring again, going one-on-one tonight with a man responsible for the sickening beatdown Michaels received last week.
He's not called the Cerebral Assassin for nothing. Triple H is going to finish the job tonight.
Just a few weeks ago, these men united. But the reunion of DX was not meant to be. The playing field has been leveled tonight. Evolution no longer has the numbers advantage, as Michaels brings reinforcements in the shape of Cody Rhodes.
He may have the heart, JR, but Cody's lacking experience. Evolution may exploit that.
After what we saw earlier tonight, the odds have been stacked against Michaels for WrestleMania.
A match against Orton was going to be tough, but to face them both, Michaels won't stand a chance.
Triple H has played a clever game, getting himself added to the triple threat match at WrestleMania. Evolution is back and stronger than ever. There's the bell. Batista now gets his opportunity to extract revenge on his former Evolution accomplice, Triple H.
And this all came about because once the game got into the WrestleMania main event, he stabbed Orton in the back. I wouldn't like to be in Triple H's shoes right now. He betrayed Evolution last week, and Batista's out to make him pay.
Batista's a bull seeing red. He'd like nothing better than to gore, to injure the game, and keep him out of WrestleMania. It doesn't get any bigger than this. It's WrestleMania. And this is the triple threat match for the WWE Championship.
This is huge, JR. These three men have been at each other's throats for months, and it all comes to a head here tonight.
Apparently, Evolution didn't take too kindly to DX saying that they were the greatest team in history.
Orton, Batista, and Flair's egos could fill this arena 3 times over.
These two men have given it their all, but only one can be victorious. Only one can earn that WWE title shot. Only one can go onto WrestleMania. These two men are no strangers to victory. Both former Grand Slam champions, having held the Intercontinental, Tag Team, and World Heavyweight Championships on separate occasions. Will Triple H add another title to his collection tonight? Y2J is one of the most determined athletes in the business, and I can assure you that he'll leave nothing in the gas tank by the end of this match.
Both men will be spent when this one's over.
Jericho and Hardy aren't exactly friends. They don't invite each other for Sunday dinners, but they do respect each other's ability and passion. This is going to be a grueling match tonight. 4 superstars enter the ring, but only one leaves as the number 1 contender for the WWE title.
And not just any superstars. Shawn Michaels, Mr. Kennedy, Chris Jericho, and Randy Orton. 4 of the toughest competitors out there today.
You might say Chris Jericho's already warmed up after his altercation with Finlay earlier.
You think one of these 3 superstars gave Finlay that tape?
I have no clue. But whoever's messing with Jericho will learn that's a surefire way to catch a beating. Who's it going to be? Mr. Kennedy, HBK, the Legend Killer, or Y2J? Who's going to face Cena for the WWE Championship? Neither man will take a step back. Neither man will back down. This is a WrestleMania main event caliber matchup to be sure.
If Michaels wins the Royal Rumble and Jericho defeats Cena, this might actually be the WrestleMania main event.
It's taken a long time for Chris Jericho to get here, but it was worth the wait. He beat Jeff Hardy. Then he went through Orton, Kennedy, and Shawn Michaels to earn this chance at facing John Cena for the WWE Championship. Those ominous messages, King, that keep haunting Jericho must be in the back of his mind during this matchup.
Well, he better keep those messages out of his mind if he hopes to beat the WWE Champion, John Cena.
This is a historic night that's only becoming more momentous with each passing match. Tonight, the winner of the Royal Rumble was none other than the Phenom himself, The Undertaker.
Wow! And what a Rumble that was! The dead man outlasted 30 of the toughest superstars in the WWE and came out on top. I still have goosebumps from that one.
Chris Jericho is clearly at a disadvantage in this contest. Shane McMahon showing no respect or consideration for Y2J by putting him in this impromptu match.
And this match isn't just against anyone, it's against a wrestling god, and it's a no disqualification match.
Jericho can't be happy about this contest against JBL. Facing a competitor the likes of Bradshaw isn't something you do on the spur of the moment.
And JBL would love to stick his spurs into someone tonight, and that someone looks like Chris Jericho.
It seems dubious that Shane McMahon wouldn't want Jericho investigating who that masked assailant was.
Shane's taking this very serious, JR, and I'm sure he's running a thorough investigation.
The question on everyone's mind, especially Jericho's, is, will that masked man show up again tonight?
One thing Jericho can't do tonight is look over his shoulder. Taking your eyes off JBL can be hazardous to your health.
It's easy to see that Shane McMahon's forced this match upon Chris Jericho and Jeff Hardy. It's obvious both men know each other so well that this will not only be a physically strenuous, but also mentally challenging. Knowing Chris Jericho like I do, I can tell you this. He must be extremely anxious to find out the identity of that masked assailant. But like the rest of us, he'll just have to wait and focus in on the job at hand.
But when Y2J finally gets his hands on whoever's behind this, the fireworks are gonna fly.
If anything positive came out of this match, it's that Chris Jericho now knows Hardy isn't the man he's looking for. But the question still remains, who is that masked man?
Then I guess Jericho better team up with the FBI, the CIA, and CSI, because we have a mystery on our hands.
Shane McMahon has cleared Randy Orton of this situation. But I don't know what that means, if it really means anything at all.
Chris Jericho can be 100% certain about two things. First, no one's going to help him find out who that masked man is. And second, facing Umaga isn't a fun way to spend your Monday night.
Jericho's been taking it to Umaga, but he has a burning question. Who is this masked man? And when and where is he going to strike next? Tonight's match will be one of great ramifications. Can Y2J and HBK actually work well enough together after their volatile matches of late?
There may not be much love lost between Jericho and Michaels, but there is respect between the two.
A begrudging respect that will be put to the test as they face off against Randy Orton and Mr. Kennedy. With the discovery of the mask in Kennedy's bag, one has to wonder if all of Chris Jericho's attention will be focused squarely on Kennedy.
Well, he better watch out for that snake Orton. And like it or not, HBK too. I mean, we still have no idea who's after Jericho.
You hinted at HBK potentially being behind this. But come on, King. Kennedy had a mask in his luggage.
Not that I'm sticking up for Kennedy, but like he said, he's from Green Bay, so it's possible that it doesn't mean anything. It's not likely, but it's possible.
Jericho came close to uncovering the true identity of that masked man last week, but with Shane McMahon's help, or should I say interference, that never came to pass.
But the time has come. Jericho's finally going to expose his assailant. Come on, Chris, do it! Tear that mask off!
Orton nailed Jericho earlier with that heavy pipe, and the effects of that blow are still evident.
I don't know, JR. Jericho's in serious trouble.
If it wasn't for John Cena, Chris Jericho wouldn't be getting this shot.
Hey, if it wasn't for Cena, Chris might have found himself in the hospital.
You can feel the intensity, the hate bellowing from Jericho at Orton and Kennedy. These two are the two men that cost him his title shot at the Royal Rumble. These are the two men that have plagued Jericho for weeks. Facing Orton or Kennedy is a major challenge. But facing both of them after what Jericho's gone through, I dare say he's going to need a miracle to survive this one. It's impossible, virtually impossible, for John Cena to come out victorious in this match tonight.
No matter how tough a person is, a man's got to know his limits.
I don't think I've ever been a part of a main event with this much animosity, intensity, and fury involved. As my partner said earlier, the main event for Wrestlemania will be a fatal four-way match with Randy Orton, Mr. Kennedy, Chris Jericho, and the WWE champ.
A classic! This one they'll talk about long after we're gone.
Randy Orton and Mr. Kennedy are two of the most snake-like individuals I've ever had the displeasure of seeing wrestle. For 3 months, they've haunted Chris Jericho. But in 6 days, Jericho will have his shot at revenge. In 6 days, Jericho could become the WWE champ.
You said it, JR. The question in that fatal four-way match is, what does Jericho want more? Revenge or becoming the WWE champion?
And we are about to start this 6-man over-the-top rope battle royal. This is just another Herculean task that Chris Jericho has to endure on his quest for the WWE title. Good grief, King! Look at that! 5 masked men in the ring. This has Randy Orton stink all over it.
You've got that right. 5 masked men. Jericho doesn't have a chance.
There's no more sneak attacks or tricks. Orton and Kennedy are out of mind games. Now it's time for them to face the music.
And Chris Jericho is going to be conducting a symphony of destruction.
Chris Jericho has endured 3 months of hell to get here tonight. He traveled a very dangerous and bumpy road, but never lost sight of what pushed him onward, the WWE Championship. Lord Almighty, what a main event! All 4 men have gone past the limit of human endurance. How much more punishment can they dish out?
How much can they dish out? How much can they sustain? Each man's given everything they have and then some.
Then who's got enough left? Who's going to leave Wrestlemania the WWE champion?
We all know Kennedy can give his opponents a mouthful, but tonight, John Cena could be giving Kennedy a mouthful of busted teeth, JR.
Cena has a lot in common with our friends in the military. Like them, Cena would never raise the white flag. There's no denying the heart, the passion this man holds for his country. Cena's got a big physical challenge waiting for him next week at the Royal Rumble when he steps into the ring with the Savage Umaga. 2 of the most explosive superstars will face off in a first ever infantry versus tank match. It's obvious that title or not, Cena has a big target, a huge target on his back. And that's what Umaga, MVP, and Regal have been proving as of late. The dastardly actions of MVP, turning his back on the good old US of A. MVP really showed his true colors, King, and they aren't red, white, and blue.
Not at all. They're yellow. If Regal didn't stop him, we might have seen some serious fireworks between Umaga and Kane before this match. And it's not wise to anger the big red machine.
It's not wise to anger Umaga either, King. They're both monsters built for destruction.
This is a clash of the titans. On one side, you have the rock-solid, unstoppable force, John Cena, and on the other, the immovable object, Umaga.
The audacity of this better-than-utopia is immeasurable. Spitting in the faces of all of those who fight to allow them to compete.
If they want to leave the country, good riddance.
Cena's a patriot through and through. He loves liberty, and he'll take liberties when he finally gets those patriotic hands on MVP. And business is about to pick up. It's Cena. It's John Cena. He's gonna get himself some of that turncoat MVP. Cena's like a stealth bomber, indestructible, and ready to deploy at a moment's notice. This guy really is a one-man army.
This feud between Cena and the Utopians has escalated beyond the point of no return. This rivalry's gotten personal.
And that could pose a challenge for Cena. Outmanned and outnumbered, Cena can't let his emotions get the better of him. I'm nervous for Cena, King. It's one thing to go head-to-head with the better-than-Utopians at No Way Out, but to have to compete on their soil? What the hell does that even mean?
I don't know, but Cena better be prepared for guerrilla warfare.
In this gauntlet match, Cena needs to defeat all 3 competitors one-on-one by pinfall or submission. Meanwhile, the Utopians have the unfair advantage of being able to get Cena counted out. These three men have had quite the storied road to WrestleMania. First, Orton befriends Triple H. Then, Michaels looked to reform DX. It all culminated in a match for the WWE title, with Triple H as the guest referee.
And by calling the match in favor of Orton, Triple H chose to reform Evolution, turning his back on his former friend.
But this was all just an elaborate hoax, a ploy designed to get the cerebral assassin into the main event at WrestleMania. A sneak attack by Evolution. They've taken out Michaels, and now they're running all over the game. He's completely outnumbered. And this might be the biggest match in the history of Raw. DX versus Evolution. Two of the greatest factions of all time going head to head here tonight.
What a match this is going to be, JR. But Evolution has a one-man advantage.
Randy Orton is so devious, so manipulative. You know, the only reason he wanted to side with Triple H was because he was terrified he might face him at WrestleMania.
Either way, things have royally backfired for Orton. He's not only lost his belt, but if he wants it back, he's got to beat the game tonight.
This is it, King. This is where it all comes to an end. This is the WrestleMania main event.
It doesn't get much bigger than this, JR. Triple H versus Shawn Michaels for the WWE Championship.
Hey, maybe Finley's lying, King. Maybe it was him and him alone that created the tape.
So you mean the Irishman's full of blarney?
Jericho needs to consider it as a possibility at least. You can bet that Jericho's looking forward to dishing out more punishment on Finley to see if he can get to the truth on who really gave him that tape.
The problem is, there's one small obstacle in his way, and that obstacle goes by the name Snitsky.
There's nothing small about Snitsky. The man with the brown teeth is a monster. Not only does Chris Jericho have to face Finley and Snitsky, and he's still grappling with the mystery behind those ominous messages we all saw 2 weeks ago.
Maybe Snitsky was the brains behind the message.
Well, whoever it was, their motives are unclear, and that has to be weighing on Jericho's mind. Styles make matches, and these two superstars are very similar, not only in style, but in desire.
That's right. I think these are two of the most driven superstars wrestling today. If Chris Jericho beats John Cena tonight, it'll be a short, bittersweet victory, because he could have to face The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
The Undertaker will get to choose which title to go after. But you have to be nervous. The Phenom's undefeated streak at WrestleMania is one of the most fabled records in all of sports entertainment.
Umaga? Come on! There's no way the Samoan Bulldozer was that masked man!
Umaga wearing a mask is like putting a wig on a bulldozer. No matter how hard you try to disguise it, it's still a bulldozer.
JR, think about this for a moment. Why else would Kennedy run out there if he wasn't the masked man?
But at the same time, King, what purpose does it serve for Kennedy to come down if he was Jericho's plotter? This assault is clearly a personal attack on Jericho.
Well, if Kennedy isn't the masked man, he's not making himself look innocent, that's for sure.
John Cena and Chris Jericho briefly faced off against each other at the Royal Rumble until the unfortunate run-in by the masked man. But now it's just the two of them, mano a mano. Whoever that masked man is, he's been a thorn in Jericho's side among other parts of his anatomy.
Thorn in his side? I think it's more like a dagger in the back. I mean, he cost him his shot at the WWE Championship.
Good Lord! I can't imagine the serious injuries that Cena must have just suffered.
Just a vicious attack.
Good Lord! Jericho's on a mission tonight. The total destruction of Mr. Kennedy. Good Lord! What a slobber knocker we are witnessing. Jericho is on his way to securing his shot, his chance at Randy Orton and the WWE title. In recent weeks, John Cena and Chris Jericho have worked in tandem to offset the sneak attacks perpetrated by Randy Orton and Mr. Kennedy. But this isn't a tag team match. There are no partners, no friends, no allies in that ring. It's every man for himself.
That's right, JR. 4 men, 1 goal. Become the WWE champion.
Good God, what a match this has been. To call it a classic would be a disservice. Whichever man becomes victorious, they will never be the same physically or mentally. They have left every ounce of determination in that ring. They have gone to the limit. Witnessing John Cena is a privilege, ladies and gentlemen. This man, this superstar, is a once-in-a-lifetime WWE athlete.
I think Cena may take no prisoners. We might even see an STFU on MVP. All right, John Cena taking on King William Regal.
And if I were William Regal, King, I'd start digging a hole in the sand trying to make my way back to England. Jeff Hardy and John Cena should work well together. These superstars may have different backgrounds, but they've been plucked from the same platoon.
And as for Umaga and William Regal, I know Regal's English, but I'm not sure he speaks Samoan.
And this Better Than Utopia was formed by MVP's jealousy. His envy of Cena and the love Cena gets from the fans here in the USA and around the world.
Now that he has Regal and Umaga with him, I don't think he's got much to be envious of.
Hardy and Cena are 2 tremendous individual competitors with the chemistry to work side by side as one cohesive unit. Well, it won't be for a lack of effort, I assure you that. But with odds so heavily stacked against him, can John Cena survive? Is there any way he can prevail?
Man, you were right, JR. Can Cena win this one? The Utopians are just too strong.
It's been a long, hard road for Cena. He's been beaten down, competed in 2 matches, and fought through exhaustion. But now the opportunity he's been waiting for. Now he gets his hands on MVP.
I see the green-eyed monster creeping out, JR. MVP's made this war a declaration of spite and jealousy.
This rivalry dates back to the tribute to the troops, and boy has it ever boiled over here tonight. It was an insulting, despicable act. MVP forcing Cena to kiss the same globe that Hardy had to kiss 2 weeks ago.
But now Cena's taking that rage out on Regal. I love it.
The Better Than Utopia Chief of Security, Umaga, is going to have his title put to the test here tonight by one determined and focused John Cena. Cena will attempt to circumvent the Utopian's security system, the barbaric Samoan bulldozer, Umaga. And here we go. An MVP better be ready to donate a pint of blood, 'cause Cena's looking to collect. It's not enough to get a piece of MVP for Cena. He's looking to destroy the man. And he won't rest until the volatile despot's been removed from office.
How great was it that Cena stripped MVP of that necklace? You might say he took his world.
In 6 days, the showdown between John Cena and the Better Than Utopia president will be more than a match. It will be the final chapter in a war. Remember everything Cena's been through. Remember the sneak attacks, the cowardly actions of the Better Than Utopians. If anyone ever had motivation to win a match, it's John Cena. It's been hostile. It's been a war. Who will emerge victorious? Who will be the last man standing? Ladies and gentlemen, what an incredible match we have for you tonight. Not 1, not 2, but 3 WWE superstars vying to become the #1 contender.
You're not kidding, JR. This is going to be huge. Edge versus Triple H versus Mr. Kennedy. Only one can come out on top.
As the match wears on, you have to wonder, why didn't that opulent opportunist Edge take the opportunity to attack Triple H while he had it?
I don't know, JR, but you can bet he's kicking himself for it right now.
Whether you agree with their methods or not, there's no doubt in my mind Mr. Kennedy and Edge are 2 of the greatest competitors in this business. But what remains to be seen is, Can they play the game?
It's a 2-on-1 situation, JR, and that's how Edge and Kennedy like it. I'd be surprised if they didn't win here tonight.
Triple H has his opponents wounded. He's overcome the odds. Can he get the win?
If it weren't for Edge and Kennedy's interference, last week's match could have been one for the ages.
Absolutely. These two men just sicken me. They're nothing more than two petty, jealous children. There's the bell, and here we go. The unlikely combination. Triple H and Randy Orton against Edge and Mr. Kennedy. Two men who've been a thorn in the sides of both their opponents.
Over the last few weeks, we've seen Orton come to the aid of Triple H. But what's Orton get out of this?
I don't know, King, but Triple H is the cerebral assassin. And if there's one person Orton won't outthink, it's the game. We've seen Evolution and now HBK talking about getting the band back together. It seems Triple H is torn between two sides.
And it's no wonder, JR. Who wouldn't want to side with the King of Kings?
Cade and Murdoch, multi-time WWE Tag Team Champions, are not a team to be taken lightly.
You're right, JR. These two are one of the greatest tag teams on Raw. And DX better remember that. This is a huge match, JR, but this Sunday is even bigger. Orton versus HBK for the WWE Championship.
As Triple H gets more and more entangled in this emotional web, the complexity increases this Sunday at No Way Out.
You know, Shelton's a phenomenal talent. Maybe the game should just align with him and forget the whole DX Evolution thing.
I don't think the gold standard wants anything to do with Orton, HBK, and the powder keg that these three have created.
And here we go with the main event. Can you feel the electricity? Can you feel the emotion, JR?
It's Shawn Michaels versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. But they have to know the match isn't in their hands. That honor belongs to the wild card, the unknown quantity, the special referee, Triple H. Oh my God, it's broken down. This is a 3-on-1 beatdown. Shawn Michaels versus the entire Evolution.
Michaels may have thrown the first punch, JR, but Evolution is going to make sure it's his last.
These two former friends are going at it here tonight. But damn it, King, I can't look at Triple H in the same way after the stunt he pulled last week.
Triple H was just doing what had to be done. Michaels attacked him first. Triple H has to protect his investment. Like you said earlier, Triple H has to do more than just win this match, JR. He's got to survive.
The game is 6 days away from a championship match on the grandest stage of them all. But what condition will he be in? All three of these men have held championship gold. All have won main events at Wrestlemania. But who's going to walk out tonight with a WWE title? Can you imagine the unbridled hatred between these 5 competitors? This matchup is just so fierce.
Hey, I know what Orton's up to. If he takes out Triple H or Michaels, they won't be able to make it to WrestleMania.
You might be right. And I guess in Randy's mind, there'd only be one suitable replacement. The game and the showstopper are both battered and bruised. How they're even standing, I don't know. But I do know this. Whoever wins, whoever beats their opponent, leaves the WWE champion.